The second technique we're going to learn this week is called stripping bark. And if you've ever stripped the bark off of a tree, you know, you have to like grab it with your hands, and you can, especially if you were to like wrap around and start pulling it, or if you come up to the front of it, you start grabbing, you have to dig in there and start ripping it apart, right? Well, that's what you're going to do to your hands in this technique, okay? In this technique, the opponent comes up from behind, and I'm going to scoot down here because it's kind of a long technique, so you need to make sure you have enough room to complete it, all right? Opponent comes up from behind, and he gets you in a bear hug. In this case, your arms are free. I can show you an alternative one here in a minute when your arms are trapped, but in this case, your arms are free. And we've had several techniques like this, you know, where we'd circle the arms and hit, and we'd step out and all this stuff. This one's a little bit more tight starting out, and then it gets much larger as we proceed, okay? So I'm going to step out to a horse stance at 3 o'clock, get myself solid. I'm going to reach down, I'm going to grab his hands. Maybe I can't go anywhere. Maybe he's got me in a corner. You know, maybe I can't go forward, right? So, or maybe I want to keep this on the down low, what's happening here to start with. So I slide around, and I'm going to get his fingers, any way I can get his fingers. So let's look at this. We've talked about this before. If you come around on top of someone's hand and you just get your fingers, the edge or the tip of your fingers just over the top of the tip of theirs, you can bend it over the top, right? And then you start to bend their fingers in. And this doesn't look like it would hurt, but once you get about here, you start pulling it in, okay? It's kind of hard to see here. Let's get this way. Let's see if we can get a little closer. You start pulling it in like so. And as you do, all right, you can see the faces, all right? Okay? So that's what you're going for. The other things you can do is you can just crush the fingers together, all right? Of course, there's always the, fall back. You grab, you just bend them back as far as you can and pull them that way, all right? You just don't get as good a grip on your fingers and such when you do that. But if he's got his fingers interlaced around you, then just grab a hold of him and just crush the whole thing together. In other words, if his fingers are like so, you just get a hold of his fingers and you just crush down on them, okay? And that'll help to start to release that grip, all right? So, attacker's got me like this. I'm going to reach down. I'm going to start grabbing those fingers and ripping them apart, crushing them, okay? Whatever it takes to cause pain. And I'm going to get them to about here. And as I do, I'm going to throw him out. And as I do, I'm going to hit him with my buttocks. All right? So I'm going to strike him with my butt here. All right? So I'm going to pull it out. Boom. Right to the solar plexus. Now I'm going to step. Okay? I'm going to step over. Back fist. Bear paw to the face. He starts to fall away. If he doesn't move out, I'll show you an alternative. But he starts to fall away. Snap kick to the groin. Now when I set here, after I do that snap kick, I'm going to set over just a little bit. Okay? I'm not going to set down in a straight line. I'm going to bring it over just a little bit because we're going to finish up with a fancy kick. We don't normally do this, but in this one we're going to, okay? I'm going to set down just a little bit off with a pump step, spin, boom, kick to the solar plexus, okay? That side kick could go to the knees, but we're going to try to drive it into the solar plexus. It's an easier target, okay? So one more time, attacker comes up, grabs me from behind. I step out to a horse stance, 3 o'clock, counter grab. Start ripping the fingers off. Okay, ripping his hands off. Rip his fingers off, maybe. All right, rip his hands off. I'm going to pull forward as I thrust back, boom, into his midsection, causing him to release and to move away from me. Once he moves away from me, I'm going to step here till about 7:30, spinning back fist. Now, when I do the spinning back fist, I don't just want to go like this because I don't know what's going on, right? So I don't want my hands out here. I want my hands up here so I can use them as guards. So as I spin here, boom, see my hands up, back fist, bear paw. Now, bear paw is catching with the knuckles here, okay? It could be the entire hand. That's fine, palm strike. But I'm coming across, so with the back fist, I'm catching with these knuckles, boom. With the bear paw, boom, I'm catching with either the palm or these knuckles here as I strike, boom, okay? He goes back, snap kick to the groin. You might have to crunch that in a little bit instead of a full-on snap kick. Set down, spin, rear side kick, and down, okay? So, one time without the opponent, I step out to 3 o'clock, grab fingers, pull the fingers apart, boom, thrust, step, back fist, bear paw, snap kick, set, spinning side kick, and down, okay? So, it's out, grab, and down, okay? So that is stripping bark. Now, a couple of things that we're going to talk about real quick. One, if he comes up and he grabs me, These are alternatives. You don't have to know this for about belt test. This is just for your knowledge. Say he grabs me and he gets me like so, okay? If he has me high on my shoulders, okay, a couple things. One, there's not a good grip here. I can generally lift my arms and start to release myself from this a little bit. But if I can't, and I can get my hands up here, same thing. I start crushing those fingers, whatever, right? Okay, until they come apart, and then boom, same motion, right? Okay? So the technique calls for your arms to be free, but it could be, if they have a high grip on you, that you could use it the same way, okay? That's one. The other thing is once I'm here, and I step out and I break loose, okay, and I start this backward movement, right, where I do boom, boom, okay? At this point, he may not have moved away. He may still be close. Maybe he's a big guy, and I hit him, okay, and he doesn't go anywhere. So I can't snap kick him. Well, we don't want to go and stop, okay? So I'm going to follow through with something else, right? Boom, and knee smash, okay? Maybe I'm moving to a different technique completely at that point, all right? But the main thing is that when you come around, boom, and he's here, and he's too close for the snap kick, that's okay. Knee smash him, push him away, and then, boom, finish him off with that side kick, all right? The point is that the whole purpose of these techniques is to allow you to adapt to different situations as they happen. The main part of the technique that you're going to need to get, that's the most important part of each technique is the beginning. It's that initial movement. In this case, it's the ripping of the fingers and this part right here. After that, who knows where this is going to go, all right? For belt testing purposes, we have a direct line of sight of where it goes. You know, we do the spinning back fist, bear paw, you know, snap kick with a side kick. But that's probably not going to happen in real life, all right? So learn the technique, okay, get it down, and then start looking at variations. Maybe have a friend come up and grab you, and then react differently, all right, so that you can start to get different ideas or different concepts. So do a different variation. Boom, you do something different, boom, boom. He changes up. So instead of doing, you know, the knee smash, all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, now what? Well, okay, he's right here. Maybe I do knee smash, and I take him into a different technique, right? Okay? All right, maybe I do knee smash, elbow strike, you know, solar plexus, okay? That's how you learn to adapt. Learn the techniques the way they're supposed to be, and then start adjusting them and playing with them in different scenarios with, you know, preferably somebody else, or if you're alone, you can do it just by imagining different ways the attacker might move, and then adjusting to it, okay? See how fast you can adjust from what should be happening to what suddenly is happening, right? Okay, so that's stripping the bark, and that's the last technique you're going to learn for this week.